Soot goes on that, water goes on that, water goes woo.
Hi, welcome back to Stanway STEM Club. This week I challenged our students to create something called a hydrophobic surface. So I introduced this to them by talking about what arachnophobia is, so the fear of spiders, and somebody that has arachnophobia doesn't like to be near spiders. So a hydrophobic material doesn't like to be near water, okay? It doesn't like to let water contact it. So I normally used some GIFs like these two here to show that in something in nature and something not in nature. The natural one is the plant leaves, and it's got hairs or it's got a kind of furry surface or something to repel those water droplets. And then in nature we've designed something, I'll put an image up here just to show the structure we're going for. Now it turns out we can actually make that using soot. Okay, so very simple practical here. We've got some paraffin wax candles, okay, more of an old-fashioned one here and just a regular tea light here. It doesn't really matter which one. If the students light this up, okay, and of course you can have them use Bunsen's or splints or anything to light this. Light that up. Now what we've got is we've got incomplete combustion here, okay? That's why the flame is orange. So the orange flame signifies that there are particles of soot in there which are pure carbon, and they are getting really, really hot, which makes them glow, okay? And it's those particles of soot that we want. So we take a small beaker, okay? This is a 100ml beaker. The reason I use a small one is just so the students can actually get a good covering of soot, because if they use a large one, it's going to take so long for them to get it, they won't really get many attempts at this. So I asked them to hold this carefully in the flame. Now you can see there's some soot building up already. Straight away you can see it coming off the side of the beaker. Now if I hold that up, you can see the soot on the bottom there. We can still see through it though. What we want is a really thick coating. Okay, so I'm just going to do this, swirling it around, not keeping it in one place for too long, if you know what I mean. And we're just going to keep building up that soot. Okay, so I've spent some time just building up some soot on there. Took less than a minute, okay? And you can see there's a really thick soot there. If I hold it against the candle, you can't really see the candle flame through it except from just at the edge. So really thick coating of soot there. And I've brought the camera a little bit so we can see what's going on. So now, I just take a beaker of water. Here's my 250ml beaker with a pipette. And they're just going to gently place some water onto the surface. Now, it does need to be gentle, okay? So if we gently place onto here, and you can see it rolls around like a little droplet. And if you gently move the beaker, you can roll that bead around, and it's really cool how it rolls around like a marble. Now if I put some more on there, you can see they kind of club together, okay, because of the surface tension of the water, okay, and they're bouncing around, and you can add more and more and more until eventually they'll fall off like that. You can also challenge the students to shoot a jet of water like this and have it bounce off, okay, that's quite fun. See if they can land it in another beaker, and if you drop them, they bounce around like rubber balls, okay? The issue is that as it's doing this, you can see my droplet of water here is getting quite sooty, and it actually rubs the surface off. So if we tip this off, you can see there's now holes in my surface, so it does need to be repaired. The issue with this is that the water obviously washes off the soot. It's not a permanent hydrophobic surface. So the best thing to do there is just to get a piece of paper towel and just to wipe it off, okay? Make sure it's clean and it's dry before you carry on. And then once it's dry, make sure there's no water on there at all. The students go straight back to putting it on the candle and getting that soot deposited there again, okay? So let's see how our students got on with that.
So we've made the bottom of the glass hydrophobic by putting it under a candle, and we are getting pipettes and then putting it on top and watching.
Very good. Seeing how much you can fit on there before it falls off.
Yeah.
So what comes out of the candle what makes it hydrophobic?
The soot.
The soot. Perfect.
And it's got carbon in it.
It's got carbon in it. Look at that.
Because you're being, where we I'm saving people from a torment.
Bella, tell me what's going on.
So when you heat up the candle, you put the beaker over it, it gets
Yeah.
and then you put some water in it, and it goes like this, and it doesn't drip off like it does. My candle sort of went out.
I like the really tiny drops, so you get like really, really tiny ones. It's almost, it's gone. It's almost worth seeing like what's the tiniest drop you could get. That's cool, where it sprays off. You could spray it off into another beaker. Can you like spray it on there and get it to shoot off? If you spray it at an angle.
No! It's got water! He's talking about you. Do you want water? No!
What if you did this over the
Oh no, it fell off. Is it working?
Yes.
Yeah. Why do the beads like stick together? Do you know?
No, I don't.
No. There's something called surface tension. So the beads, water is like attracted to other water particles, which is why it kind of like sticks in a tube and stuff like that. So they all stick together.
Did you not even feel that?
Oh, that's neat though. It's gonna fall off. It's gonna fall off. You can see all the soot like floating around in it.
Yeah.
Gross. Yes.
There we go. And it should.
Look at that. It works.
I can do it. Oh, one flew off.
It's working. Do you know why the beads stick together? Because Athena
Is
didn't.
it because it goes straight into the...
Do you want to do one?
Kind of. Just wash your hands with soap. You'll be alright.
See that fingerprints on it.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Just go to the sink, wash your hands with soap.
I reached over for something and almost put my hand in the flame.
Ooh, yeah, can't see that. So it's surface tension. So water has this thing that makes all the globs stick
It
together.
does it on makeup.
It does.
I know that
Yeah.
because I had a bit of a ruined eyeshadow thing and I did it.
Right, I've got a bit of soap on my finger. Do you want to see this? Yes. If I touch this,
What?
it ruins the blob. Ah, see, now it's like... Now it won't blob as much.
Why?
Because I've ruined the surface tension. I've got another practical we can do with this another time. The surface tension is very cool. Right, tell me what's happening, Finn.
Soot, waterphobic,
Yeah.
throw this on flame, collect soot, soot goes on that, water goes on that, water goes woo.